I'll be looking forward to it.
Very much so, Ger. I thought we were going to talk about the weather clearing up, actually, but it's got worse in the last 10 minutes or so, and that's going to render ball control very difficult. Kerry, who like to kick the ball, they're going to find it difficult enough to do that accurately, and handling throughout is going to be a difficult enough thing. But, Ger, one of the things I noticed in the minor game, anybody who goes bouncing the ball today does it at their peril.
It's Kerry who won the toss, and they are playing from left to right for the opening half here. Between them, these counties have won 8 of the last 12 All-Ireland finals. Let's see how they get on in the semi-final. A place in the final in 4 weeks' time at stake. Straight away, bodies crashing into one another. First free kick awarded to Kerry. David Moran preparing to take it. Very long, down towards Donaghy. Marked there by Justin McMahon, and Justin gets the ball back into his hands, and that is the marking arrangement we expected to see happen. And Kerry will have to deal, of course, with the double sweeper, and this is a new challenge, new departure for them to face this particular ploy. Right now it's Conor Myler on as far as Chin and McCann. Very, very important player within the system of play that Mickey Hart has devised for this team. Their captain, Sean Cavan, back on there. Look how far forward Aidan McCrory had gone before finally Peter Hart diagonally places this one over. Contained initially by McAlliskey, then it was McCurry. Back in here once again to Mark Bradley. A lot of Tyrone players getting their hands on the ball early on before that foul is committed there on Mark Bradley. This is the challenge that came in here as he got possession, and the outstretched arm there of Mark O'Shea bringing him to a halt.
Yeah, very interesting start, actually, just watching the Tyrone team. Aidan McCrory has started a wing back, has gone back as sweeper one moment, attacked actually in front of the ball that time, but a beautiful diagonal ball that time, beautiful interplay between Conor McAlliskey, Darren McCurry. Eventually the free in was conceded by Mark O'Shea, an easy enough opportunity for Tyrone to start up with.
This is 22-year-old Darren McCurry to take it, just outside the D, and straight over the bar. Good start. Well, it's the perfect start. He's a very, very comfortable free taker, very, very confident in himself. First kick out then, and it's won by Tyrone and fisted down by Petey Hart on as far as Mark Bradley. On as far Hart, but again, it's a goal chance here. Can they get it? No, blocked down there. It was McAlliskey trying it. Bradley thought Hart might have had a go at it. Back out it comes again as far as Darren McCurry, and that one's gone over as well, and Tyrone are 2 to the good. Great start, but he's got the opening 2 points for them.
Fantastic start by Tyrone, it must be said. Peter Hart knifed through the Tyrone defence so well that time. Ball broken, interestingly enough, from the kick out. I thought a goal was on just momentarily, but great save, it must be said, by the cornerback. I think it was Mark O'Shea maybe, but McCurry picked up the ball very well. That's the start Tyrone wanted.
And that's another poor kick out straight to Conor McAlliskey. Kerry rattled, very unnerved in the early stages, and McCurry puts this one to the left when he had an easy enough chance by his high standards of making it 3 points to no score.
Yeah, Mickey Hart would be very, very pleased with this. Just watch this block again. Fantastic. I think it was Mark O'Shea.
It was indeed Mark O'Shea, playing in his 14th All-Ireland semi-final. Some of those have, well, 1 or 2 replays in among that lot, but quite a record. Donegal Walsh now. Kerry just need to get their hands on the ball a little bit and try to come to terms with the challenge presented, all the way down as far as James O'Donoghue. They've made a poor start, but there's plenty of time. Stephen O'Brien across here to Donoghue, keeps it moving to Johnny Buckley, got the nod to start instead of Brian Sheehan. Availing of this opportunity now as he steadies himself and puts it calmly over. Well, that's a very good start for Johnny Buckley, playing in his 19th championship match, and certainly manager Eamon Fitzmaurice there with Cian O'Neill looking on will be very pleased. No crisis whatsoever, calm as you like, got into a nice situation in the D and stroked it over the bar, 2-1.
Beautiful little hop dummies on 2 occasions that time by Buckley.
Mark O'Shea again, what a good start he's made to the match, in as far as Colin Cooper. Buckley once again, did really well when they played in Omagh, and that match finished level in April, and they're level here. Buckley's got 2, McCurry's got 2 for Tyrone, and only 4 minutes are gone. Good start.
Well, that simplicity personified that time by Buckley. Lovely ball from Cooper, it must be said. Buckley has started very well. Not been man-marked, it must be said. With the sweeper system that Tyrone have, they're just dropping off Buckley, and unfortunately from a Tyrone point of view, Buckley has made hay.
Well, the first kick out there we saw coming from Niall Morgan, trying to make sure that it didn't go long into the centre, where Kerry are so dominant with Maher and Moran in there. So they're working it up incrementally. McCann nicely on as far as McNabb. Shooting, great shooting by Tyrone. Well, he certainly added scoring to his repertoire, and Ronan McNabb, who got 2 in this year's championship, can now make it 3 as Tyrone steal back into the lead again.
Well, so many people were expecting the apocalypse today. So many people were expecting a negative kind of a game. But my God, it has started at a blistering pace. Wonderful attacking football from both sides.
Paul Murphy. And that time there's a little push in the back. And that was Ronan McNamee in there onto James O'Donoghue. Thought they might test his shoulder early on, but this time it was a punch, and the player knocked over. Kerry build again. David Moran nicely outside here as far as Jonathan Lyne. Has Moran available once again, sums up his options. 3 men, 4 men go to him, gets himself away from that, now needs to get rid of the ball. And that's what he's got to come to terms with, that kind of intensity that Tyrone will bring to championship football. And this is rather new territory for some of these Kerry players.
And surprisingly, Kieran Donaghy is playing out the field, around centre, forward to centre field. That's a big surprise to my mind.
Peter Hart. This time it's Matty Donnelly getting his hands on the ball. He's given this side great leadership this year. McCrory, elegant player, back in once again, this time to Conor Myler. Donnelly getting away from the attentions of Anthony Marr. Marr trying to get in, trying to get a decent tackle on him, can't do so. McCrory once again in an advanced position. In came the boot then of David Walsh, or Donica Walsh rather, and the referee in the end decided to give the free kick to Kerry, when others thought that it might have been a free kick just a moment earlier, as the Tyrone player was bending his back, it seemed, to try and get possession. I thought Donica Walsh came in. Have a look at this again here.
Yes, definitely. There was a trip that time, Ger. McCrory took quite a knock on the ankle. McCrory actually has got forward quite often so far, even though there's only 6 minutes gone. And the sweeper system, I think, from a Tyrone point of view, is being carried out by Colm Kavanagh.
Well, no free kick was given for that. And then in the follow-up play, there was a Tyrone foul, so it's going to be a free kick now against Mickey Hart's team. What a job he has done over the years. This is his 236th game in charge, and that includes McKenna Cup League and Championships, and he's won 155 of those. Quite a record. Mark O'Shea. Oops. One of those days, weather conditions are dreadful, anything could happen. Over across as far as Paul Murphy has switched across from right to left from a very early stage. Stephen O'Brien now got a goal and 4 on his last appearance here. Once again, Murphy booting it in, too near the goalkeeper. Only Colin Cooper in there to present any kind of threat. And Tyrone will break at pace and in numbers. Colm Kavanagh. They've got a very, very good structure. Everybody seems to know their role in this particular setup, Tyrone. It's well practiced at this stage. This is game number 7 for them, of course, in this year's championship.
And as against that, Jerry, must be said, Kerry have a structure that has surprised me. There isn't a Kerry player inside the Tyrone half of the field.
Well, they adapted in last year's All-Ireland final, remember, as well, when they were confronted on that occasion by the challenge of Donegal. James O'Donoghue played deep on that occasion, taking a return pass here from David Moran. Onto his left, off the post, back down to Colm Kavanagh. In there sweeping, usually sweeping between the 2 lines, full back line and half back line, such as they are in modern day football. Very interesting and very exciting development, the way football has developed. Not to everybody's liking, but certainly Tyrone have this very, very well rehearsed, and they're on average getting about 17 points per game. That time Conor Myler let the ball slip, but then it is very greasy. Donica Walsh once again back in here as far as James O'Donoghue. Again, looking around, there's nobody from the Kerry team in inside the 45-metre line. Now there is. Donica Walsh moving in there. having to hit it back to David Moran, and the break with Jonathan Lyne involved. Moran once again, further back as far as James O'Donoghue, reminiscent of the kind of game he played against Donegal last September, playing deep, taking Ronan McNamee, his marker, out with him. Peter Crowley, a lot of possession football, not a lot of progress being made. Finally there's a swing around there by Conor Myler. Got a black card the last day, you remember. That was rescinded on Thursday or Wednesday night, I think it was.
Yeah, but there was so much lateral play at that time, and the reason for it from a Kerry point of view is that the only player in front to let the ball into his column.
This is quickly into Buckley, and Buckley fists it over the bar, and he's got all 3 points so far. What odds would there have been on Kerry's leading scorer after nearly 10 minutes of play being number 11, Johnny Buckley?
Yeah, very much so, and I think the reason I said it already is because Justin McMahon is playing further back into a sweeper role, and as a consequence Buckley has been left free.
So you can see just who's picking him up. Right now it's Ronan McNabb has got onto him. Sean Kavanagh, wily campaigner towards Mark Bradley, who'll try and pull the centre-back, insofar as there is a centre-back for Kerry, out of position and leave a gap, and into that gap they'll hope to bring players like Tiernan McCann. Back to Bradley once again. Now Peter Hart. Very intricate. Sean Kavanagh holds and takes out 2 Kerry players. Then the final ball intended for McCurry, but well cut out by Mark O'Shea. Stephen O'Brien breaking. A lot of work to do. He's got 3 players inside the Tyrone 45. One of them here is the highly mobile James O'Donoghue, forced off with a bad shoulder injury in the first half of the game against Kildare in the quarter-final. That time he holds on too long, and the free's given against him. It reaches Peter Hart, getting away from Buckley initially. Now Paul Murphy tries to get in with a challenge. That's not terribly strong. Down towards Myler. He's well surrounded, but still has it. Stripped from him well there by Killian Young. Kieran Donaghy picking it up, plays it forward. 3 points apiece. David Moran. Quick look up to see who's left and right. It's Donaghy. Gives a little return ball. Chance to break here on this near side. Shane Enright coming into it. First time he's got the ball in his hands, I think, in this game. Nice ball by O'Donoghue in as far as Anthony Marr. Again having to work his way through the lines here. Peter Crowley nicely outside here as far as Stephen O'Brien. O'Brien trying to cut inside. Did that so well against Kildare, and he's done it well here. Kerry are in front. Stephen O'Brien the scorer after Buckley got the first 3. The only other player to score is O'Brien, and they're both half forwards.
Yes, and now it's set up by a most delightful punch pass by Anthony Maher. Took 2 Tyrone players out of the move with the pass, and a great finish by O'Brien.
Dangerous, risky, short pass that time by Niall Moran. Lucky to get it back there from Cathal McCarran, who's such a vigilant and great campaigner. Out to McCrory now, nobody marking him initially. Turning it back towards McNabb. Good intervention by Johnny Buckley, got his hands to it. Then it breaks away to David Moran. Coming in quickly comes Ronan McNabb, and the referee blows his whistle, gives the free to Kerry. And they're going to get an extra 13 metres because McNabb kicked the ball away, rather foolishly. It's on the 45-metre line now, and it's Cooper preparing to take it, with Kerry leading after nearly 13 minutes by 4 points to 3.
Yeah, that was silly play, I must say, by Ronan McNabb. That free kick was about from 65 metres out, but with a little bit of indiscipline in his part, he has now given James O'Donoghue a good opportunity of scoring from around the 45-metre line.
Well, it may be a good opportunity, Martin, but it also is the first time that a free taker for Kerry has had to take this. And don't forget, Brian Sheehan is sitting on the subs bench, and this might have been in Brian Sheehan territory, 45 metres out. Yeah,
and interesting coming into this game, Ger, Tyrone have conceded on average less frees than Kerry.
This one's dropping in. Will it go over the bar? It does. Really good kick. Had the necessary length. And Kerry lead by 2. 5 points to 3.
Yes, and credit to both teams, it must be said. They're seamlessly interchanging, changing the way they're playing, changing their system slightly. But Kerry are starting to kind of, in a sense, build up a head of steam at the moment.
Cathal McCarran. Tyrone made the better start. Should have been 3 points to no score ahead, but they made it 2 points to 0 instead. And McCurry, this time watching Conor McCalliskey get to it first. referee going across now here. And that tackle by Mark O'Shea, yeah, is what
that's interesting.
It's got to be the card, if there is a card. Referee's walking across here. He's having a word now with his linesman on the near side, and that's Anthony Nolan from Wicklow.
Yeah, well, we thought, sure, beforehand that the referee, you know, his tolerance levels will be tested, and in that case, I think Mark O'Shea was lucky not to be given a black card.
Well, is the referee going to speak with him? They brought the goalkeeper out, by the way, Niall Morgan, to hit this one. Scored against Monaghan. Referee didn't take any action there from what I can see.
No, maybe he's taking into consideration the conditions on the day, and they contributed somewhat to that, but Mark O'Shea is a lucky man.
Hang on, he's going over to talk to him now. And he's got a black card, he's gone. In his 85th championship appearance, he's got a black card after 15 minutes of play. And they've got to make a change now. Aidan O'Mahony, I imagine, will be the one who might come in, but that's my guess.
Well, certainly on first viewing, I thought it was black card territory. Again, you know, to a degree, the conditions might have contributed to it, but if you pull a guy down like that, where it looks deliberate, then it's a black card.
There's Morgan, and that's over. First point today, second point in this year's championship, 14th point in a championship career. And the player who's coming on now is going to be Fionn Fitzgerald. That's an interesting call. Fionn Fitzgerald, who rescued Kerry at the end of the Munster final, comes in. Stephen O'Brien has that ball stripped from him. Kerry come again. David Moran. Sliding into it was Kieran Donaghy, trying to get the hand pass away, couldn't do so. Absolutely surrounded, almost gang tackled in there. They get it away successfully, legally, and with great efficiency. Sean Kavanagh back out as far as Kieran McCann. McCann to his right-hand side here as Matty Donnelly in support. Really exciting match so far. Conor Myler trying to slip by. Ineffective challenge. Comes as far as Aidan McCrory. And McCrory can't finish off. Has it never scored in the championship? No great surprise.
No, but again, it's about the third or fourth time we've seen him up in an attacking position. But just go back to the way that the Tyrone lads strip the Kerry players of the ball. They're so well schooled in the art of defending, Ger, that if you carry the ball at the tackle, you're risking being turned over every time.
First touch for Fionn Fitzgerald, back as far as David Moran. Well, that is a big loss to lose Mark O'Shea. With his experience and his normal composure, we saw one great block earlier on. Now they're going to restructure at the back, Kerry. Into it there quickly, and losing it, and stripped from him was Jonathan Lyne. And back in the counter-attack come Tyrone once again. Colm Kavanagh. And he was caught, jersey tagged that time. It's going to be a free for Tyrone. 5-4, anybody's match. The lashing rain of Croke Park in this first of the All-Ireland football semi-finals. Coming to you live on the Sunday game. Ronan McNabb. Peter Hart now. Stroking it across here to Conor Myler. Plenty of work to do. Kerry have lots of bodies back. Killian Young, I think, has gone back in towards a sweeping position just in front of the covering defenders. Darren McCurry striking him with the right. Not his favourite foot normally. Easy one that time for Brendan Keeley. Back out to Young. Up to Johnny Buckley. Made such an impressive start to this match. Firing it long. Down as far as James O'Donoghue. Controlled elegantly. Getting away from McCrory. Sending it in there dangerously to Donaghy. Donaghy trying to get through that entire Tyrone defence. Can't do it. It's impossible. Weight of bodies counted that time. Comes back out to Peter Hart again. Slipped down as far as Conor Myler. A lot of work to do now, however. He's got to try and carry it and wait. Needs a support player. It's that kind of match. Back to Donnelly. Out as far as Kieran McCann. McCann for 45 metres out, slipping it in here. And that time fisted away by Brendan Keeley.
Oh my God, Ger, we're being reacquainted with the familiar. We thought, you know, that the Tyrone had gone away there. That's 3 times Kerry attacks have been bottled up by the most fantastic choke tackle. Just watch Donaghy here getting it. Colm Kavanagh is first in. Then he's surrounded by 2 or 3 other Tyrone defenders. That's great tackling. You can see the spirit in the Tyrone team is really, really wonderful.
McAlliskey in here as far as Mark Bradley. Back to McAlliskey. Ooh! Greasy ball, he did well, he dived in, but he handled it on the ground as well. Free out. Stephen O'Brien takes it quickly. Back out as far as Anthony Marr. Great pace to the game. Donegal Walsh looks up. Johnny Buckley takes it in his stride. Again, tries to pick out a colleague inside. Cooper, such a dangerous man, gets away from Ronan McNamee. Back there again towards Donegal Walsh, and this one is always straying away from goal. And that is just the first wide of the match from Kerry.
I thought that move deserved a score. Beautiful interchange. Great ball from Donegal Walsh. Poor finish though.
Ronan McNamee, Donnelly involved. Once again, it's Tiernan McCann, 23 years of age, from Killyclare. Trying to do too much with it. Well, it's one of those days when you really have to look up, try and place the ball forward, try to make progress as quickly as possible. Carrying it into the tackle is rather futile. And in the end today, I think in that particular instance, Tyrone did well to get a free kick out of it, and there's a yellow card there for Anthony Marr.
Yeah, very much so. Again, it's so hard to execute the skills today, Jaron. You can anticipate errors all over the pitch, and certainly when the ball is kind of bounced, it's going to run away from you, and players slide into tackles where normally in a dry day they wouldn't.
McNabb, former minor captain, when Sean Kavanagh was here with the seniors in 2008, McNabb was the minor captain that day. He shared that responsibility with Ryan Pickering, and here he comes once again. Point scorer already. Probing ball in there towards Kavanagh, does really well. Two men against him, and the referee says play on. No advantage given to Sean Kavanagh. It's a Kerry player on the ground. Kerry attacking. Donegal Walsh. Seems to be Peter Crowley who's injured. Play continues with O'Brien here. Back to Marr. Dishing it all the way back as far as Stephen O'Brien. Crowley is still on his anchors down towards the end line, needing some attention. Hasn't got his attention just yet. Essentially Kerry down to 14 at the moment. But they have Cooper. Brilliant ball inside there to Stephen O'Brien. Turns quickly, really smart play, but they can't finish.
That was a sweet ball, it must be said, from Colin Cooper to Stephen O'Brien, who had more room than he realised. But just watch the speed of the Tyrone restarts, getting possession every time, uncontested, and able to work the ball up through the lines.
Well, there was not much point in taking a traditional kick-out down as far as David Moran or Anthony Marr and losing most of those. But right now it's Kerry back on the offensive once again. And as a hand was going in, there was Johnny Buckley who caught his Tyrone opponent, and the referee wants to halt the play for a moment here.
Well, Jeremy, we'd anticipate a lot of negative play. We'd anticipate an awful lot of defending, and there is good defending from both sides. But the game, it must be said, after 20 minutes or so, it's electrifying the crowd.
That's Ronan McNamee who got caught that time. It was Cooper, I think, eventually.
Yes, well, there was no malice whatsoever in the belt. He was just going for the ball. Ronan McNamee got on the wrong side of it, but no malcontent whatsoever.
That's been a good game so far. That was one challenge there which was penalised a little while ago. Plenty of hits. It is very physical. What do you expect? It's All-Ireland semi-final time. Ronan McNabb back to pick it up from his own goalkeeper. Plenty of work to do here, but the fitness levels of both teams is absolutely remarkable. I would suspect that players who played the game 20, 30 years ago would hardly identify some of the levels of fitness that these current inter-county players are demonstrating. That's David Moran cutting a lot of ground. Back to Paul Murphy, man of the match in last year's All-Ireland football final. Back out here as far as Fionn Fitzgerald. Then carried on by James O'Donoghue. Seeking and finding Stephen O'Brien, cutting in here. Planning to do it on his own, it would appear, and then deciding to halt, give it back to O'Donoghue, back out to O'Brien again. They're combining very well. That is a beautiful score. Absolutely wonderful. He lined it up, he took aim, and he nailed it.
Yeah, credit to James O'Donoghue that time, realised he was going to be closed down, but Stephen O'Brien with a delightful piece of skill from the outside of his foot, but it goes back to a great intercept from David Moran at the other side of the pitch.
Colin Kavanagh. Here's Ronan McNamee. Little burst of pace here, then McNabb down as far as Myler. Quickly into the forwards, they don't hang around. None of the zigging and zagging you see from other teams. Into McCrory, inside 22 metres out when he hits it. But he's put it wide.
Yeah, unfortunately, from a Tyrone point of view, McCrory has got on the end of a lot of moves. He's taking shots whereas he should be laying it off.
We might see a score yet, however, Martin, because it's gone to Hawkeye. Maurice Deegan deciding to use the technology that is a very welcome addition to everyday big match here at Croke Park. Matches at Croke Park, and is it in, is it out? Well, it's gone through the post, so I think that's a kneel, is it?
It's a kneel, yeah.
Neil Shakadaha.
And anyway, I think all the Hawkeyes in the hill anyway know whether it's over or not. They would have certainly cheered it. There's a huge Tyrone contingent right behind the posts.
This kick out again, right through the centre, intended for the big Kerry men. That's there. The big difference between the ways the two kick-outs are working. But from the Kerry kick-out, it's McAlliskey. Oh, could have had a goal. Should have had a goal. He had McCurry to his right as well. Point instead after 25 minutes. One between them.
That's a huge opportunity miss for Tyrone. McAlliskey knifed through the defence that time. Kerry were wide open. McCurry was on the right to be given the ball. He had a straight shot for the nets, but unfortunately McAlliskey didn't see him.
Well, it's an exhilarating match so far. David Moran. That's possession so far. It's Tyrone who are shading it quite considerably, 54% in their favour. Anthony Marr. Plenty of time to stroke it around in the middle third. But it's when you're trying to get inside the defensive third of Tyrone, that's when you run into problems. That time McCarran should have been able to hold on to it, but the greasy ball made it difficult for him. And in the end, the referee gives the free kick against Kerry.
Yeah, but you notice who was defending that time. It was McAlliskey back in his own defence. They are working so hard throughout the field. Their enthusiasm, their fitness, their sense of purpose is so impressive today.
They may have come in with a certain sense of grievance as well, which a lot of people talked about before the start of this match, and I'm sure Mickey Hart managed to galvanise that among his troops, and they are giving it everything. Peter Hart looks about. Then beautifully in here in front of McCurry, laid off to his twin striker, as it were, Conor McAlliskey. Sean Kavanagh doesn't tend to play just as an orthodox or traditional full forward. He's out around right half forward at this stage. Myler once more transferred to Hart. Peter Hart, who can be a wonderfully creative force. McCann, great running ability. Matt Nabb, good head on his shoulders. Matty Donnelly. They're taking a while now to try and make the cut inside that they're looking for. There's plenty of movement just ahead of them in the inside forward line, looking to try and pick out the perfect time to put in the perfect ball. McAlliskey, challenged by Buckley. Now there's a little break here. McAlliskey trying to round Young, angling this one, but the angle was too tight. Back there to help out Anthony Marr. Fionn Fitzgerald wouldn't have been expecting to be in this early. Would have had his hopes, I know, but in because of a black card given to Mark O'Shea after 15 minutes. Hefty confrontation there. Killian Young was involved, hoping to get a return, but Donncha Walsh goes the other side into James O'Donoghue. Clever operator, tracking in Cathal McCarran. Donoghue 1 point so far in this match, and that from a free kick from 45 metres out. David Moran. Here's Jonathan Lyne. Crowley got the nod to start ahead of Aidan O'Mahony. Johnny Buckley. Difficult one, impossible one in the end for Kieran Donoghue to contain, but it's deemed to have gone off the backs. Tyrone's defenders are furious. They didn't see it that way. And I would going in to have a little chat, Martin.
Yes, and I would agree with the Tyrone defenders. I felt myself that was a wide ball, but umpires, referees think otherwise, and they're the ones that certainly are important in this. But just going back to the Tyrone defending, they're so effectively clogging the Kerry attacks.
It's interesting also, Martin, where this decision's concerned. Hawkeye's used to determine whether a ball's over the bar or not. in a situation like that would have been interesting to be able to use it to see who got the last touch.
Yeah, and I thought, looking at it again, that it was Donaghy who got the last touch. But just going back to the point I was trying to make, Tyrone are so effectively clogging the Kerry attacking channels at the moment. Donaghy has been ineffective. Gooch hasn't been really in the game. It took those 3 opportunist points earlier from Buckley, and now Donaghy has a chance to have another one from a free.
Well, he got the first one from a bit of an angle. This is more a central position, and this one's over the bar as well. 2 from 2 for James O'Donoghue, and Kerry leads 7-5. 5.5 minutes to go to half-time. That's a poor kick out. Straight to Cooper. Into Donaghy. May not have done much so far. Had a chance there and spurned the opening. It was a great opportunity. Oh, he was unmarked. That
was a huge opportunity. It should have been finished by Donaghy. But just going back to the point that O'Donoghue actually got from the 45 that time, if Tyrone were angry and felt persecuted beforehand and had a somewhat siege mentality, they'll feel double that after that point being scored, because that was not a 45 in my opinion.
Now Morgan going longer this time, but again it's straight to a Kerry player. They're having difficulty with the kick-outs when they go long. Well and good, and they're going to have to remain with the original ploy of going short and maybe out towards the wings with those restarts. They get it back this time, and McCarron has it. Down towards Mark Bradley. Beautifully delivered back into the hands of Matty Donnelly. One for McCurry to go after. 2 points so far. His marker there is John Fitzgerald. Referee's decided there was a push in the back. John Fitzgerald looks puzzled by the decision.
Yeah, when you look at that full forward line, Ger, I think the Tyrone full forward line, they got 60% of Tyrone scores this year, but McCurry's work right across the line is so impressive, and likewise McAlliskey in the other corner has been a real find for Tyrone this year.
Well, McCurry scored with one of these frees already in this match. This to put one between them. It's not an easy angle on a wretched day. That's gone wide. No, that wasn't easy.
No, that was a bad miss, though. In fairness, hard angle, it must be said, Ger. But, you know, both teams, to a degree, are tied to a system. But certainly Tyrone, within that system, there's a great level of flexibility. And we see, for example, the cornerback like McCrory and Ronan McNamee getting forward at times. And equally, Colin Kavanagh is going back and acting as sweeper repeatedly.
In fact, from what you're saying here, Tyrone are almost more flexible than Kerry, and right now as we watch this Kerry kick out, Tyrone have brought their 2 extra covering players, sweepers, back into the 45-metre line to provide extra protection, and the pressure is coming in elsewhere, and then there's a foul and Matty Donnell is on the ground, and Tyrone will have the next free kick, and David Moran looks a bit dissatisfied with himself. Here's Myler. Matty Donnelly. So far their game plan is working very well. 2 points adrift, but they haven't conceded goals in the opening half, and that's very, very important for them. Quick hands. Peter Hart then handles the ball on the ground as he falls. Kerry can break quickly as they do, and it's James O'Donoghue. They broke very quickly against Cork in the replay of the Munster final. They got a goal out of it. They might get a point out of this one. He beats the attempted block there, but puts it wide. McNabb got in with the block. And James O'Donoghue there, very nearly getting his third, but outside and wide instead. And that's a 4th wide for Kerry.
Yeah, McNabb might have got him with the block, but they worked that time by the wing, was it McCurry in getting back to help out McNabb. But just so impressive, and that ball just drifted wide at the very last moment.
That showed the spirit that's in this Tyrone team. The efforts there by Ronan McNabb. So another Tyrone kick out. This time they look for a loose player and find one in Conor Myler. Kerry retreat. Tyrone advance. McNabb once again into Bradley. Steals a march on his marker, who's Paul Murphy, and belts it over. Good point by Mark Bradley, his 7th in this year's championship. It's a 1-point game, and we're just about 90 seconds to go to half-time.
That's a joy of a point. What a ball off his left foot. Delightful little sidestep. Saw the post, popped it over the bar. And the funny thing about the half, Ger, is that, you know, the influential players like Sean Kavanagh, Colin Cooper on the Kerry team, they haven't been really that prominent so far.
Well, tactically, it is a fascinating game. Kerry with 12 scoring chances so far to Tyrone's 13. We knew we had master tacticians on the sideline there in Eamon Fitzmaurice and Mickey Hart. It's anybody's match. It's going to be a free kick for Kerry.
And I think the reason for it this time is that Conor Myler was fouling Donegal Walsh.
Sean Fitzgerald back here once again to Moran. David Moran swung around initially there. Sean Kavanagh has to be careful. He gets the hand in, and the referee doesn't allow an advantage. Free kick to Tyrone.
Yeah, Sean Kavanagh has gone into a very withdrawn role at the moment. Again, in fairness, for a lot of the game he's been playing out around the middle, hasn't got on the ball an awful lot. McCurry and McAlliskey are very much up in the full forward line.
And the reinforcements will arrive in a moment. There's going to be 2 minutes of additional time played at the end of the opening 35, so we're into the red at this stage. And Cathal McCarron takes a return ball from Myler. Slips inside Buckley easily. Back here as far as McNabb. Sean Kavanagh now. This team a point adrift. Holding and waiting. McCarron once again. Well, it's relatively low scoring but fascinating. McCarron coming in with it here, again surrounded, again no options. Smothered by that great Kerry cover that time.
Yeah, talk about a team being able to adapt to circumstances. Kerry are doing it so effectively. I've learned a lot from the northern teams, getting men back in numbers and again snuffing out that attack effortlessly.
Peter Crowley. Moran has a look around then, decides to play it out to the wide open spaces where Paul Murphy can patrol virtually unmarked all the way down as far as Cooper slides into that. McNamee slides in with him, and Tiernan McCann is the one who comes out with that ball and those yellow boots of his. Aidan McCrory trying to get away from the other number 2, Paul Murphy. Back as far as McCann again. Waiting and holding. McCurry. Less than 30 seconds, or a little around 30 seconds to go before the half-time whistle will sound as Matty Donnelly hits it with ease and with absolute accuracy. And they're going to finish this first half, it would appear, as they started. Kerry 7, Tyrone 7, they're level.
That was a wonderful score. I thought no player was in front of the ball from a Tyrone point of view to let it in, but a lovely lateral ball to Matty Donnelly. First time we've seen him having a shot at goals and getting into an attacking position. Great score.
Stephen O'Brien has got 2 points during this first half. Must be the last attack because we're over the 2 minutes. So is there a last chance maybe here? Paul Murphy scored in the All-Ireland final, would love to do it here in the semi. It hangs in the air. Donaghy goes up for it with Justin McMahon and comes down with it and puts it over the bar. And Kerry are in front. And Donaghy, the captain, has scored. The man whose dad, Oliver, was from County Tyrone, comes and puts Kerry in front. As half-time is called here, the captain puts the Kingdom, the All-Ireland champions, in front here very narrowly. An enthralling first half. Both sides have had their moments. It's been a wonderful tactical battle as well. It really is anybody's match in this first All-Ireland football semi-final at Croke Park. At half-time at the break, it's Kerry 8, Tyrone 7. Very shortly we'll have the views of Colm O'Rourke, Kieran Whelan and Joe Brawley with Michael Lester. That'll be right after this.
European Sports Cup
Final match. So the captain's going to sit out the second half, it would appear. And that is a big call.
And there's another big call, actually, that Mickey Hart has come up with too. Tiernan McCann has gone back wing back and Peter Hart has gone centre forward.
Well, that's at the beginning. Let's see how it finishes up. It's been intriguing so far. And let's see if that change in the forward line has the desired effect. And that time, Donegal Walsh hit that one and turned away immediately because he knew it was going absolutely nowhere. Niall Morgan easily able to get onto that. This Tyrone squad, incidentally, warmed up for this match and relaxed on Wednesday night by attending the George Best musical as a group in Belfast. It's had the desired effect, and the dancing feet there of Tiernan McCann carrying that ball a little bit too far. Free against him, and he must have said something, because the free kick has now been brought back onto the Tyrone defensive 45-metre line, and once again James O'Donoghue is the one who's going to be called up to take it.
Yes, and interesting actually, Tyrone McNamee, the full-back, has gone down injured. I think maybe he hurt himself coming out that time. It looks as if it's his Achilles tendon or ankle area or lower calf, and that would be a huge blow if he had to go off, because he has been very effective in the first half.
And the physio there is Michael Hart, son of Mickey, and just attending there to Ronan, playing in his 12th championship match there. Made his debut incidentally against Kerry in 2012 that afternoon in Killarney when the sun shone down, and Kerry had a 10-point winning margin at the end. First time they had beaten Tyrone in the Mickey Hart era. This is James O'Donoghue, and James O'Donoghue has kicked it wide. So not a very auspicious start to the second half. A fifth wide in all now for Kerry. The rain continues to pour down, and it's probably as worse or as bad as it has been, probably worse than it has been at any stage during the match. Not that Conor McAlliskey is going to worry too much about that. Scampering away. Fionn Fitzgerald goes after him in hot pursuit. Can't catch him. Great point. Wonderfully done by Conor McAlliskey, the 23-year-old from Clonoe, who has tied it up here at 8 points apiece, and these teams are now level for the fourth time.
Simplicity personified, Jerry, must be said. Quick kick out, long ball, broken down, and McAlliskey just took off. Kerry defender couldn't pick up with him, had confidence in his long-range shooting. Great score.
Killian Young. Paul Murphy now, once again. Tyrone retreat into their familiar pattern at the back. Stephen O'Brien on here as far as James O'Donoghue. Gathers his wits and his legs about him once again. Back in here quickly to Jonathan Lyne. Back out it comes, out as far as Paul Gainey, and Gainey kicks this one wide. His first contribution since coming on at half-time as a sub. Well, he's a big player to bring in, Paul Gainey. He scored 2 goals and 8 points so far in this year's championship, but 2-7 of that coming from play. When you think about it, Kerry started this match without 3 of their top 4 scorers, all sitting on the bench. One of them here now is Cooper. 2-7 so far, hasn't scored in this match, and the referee again saw a foul inside there and has given a free kick to Kerry in a very scoreable position.
Well, that's a very soft free. That's not a typical type of free that Tyrone concede, in particular in the full back line. To me, there looked very, very little in that. And certainly I can fully understand why Cathal McLaren feels so aggrieved about it.
Cooper then with his first chance of getting a score in this semi-final. The referee is making sure that that's Gavin Devlin there, who's been told to get off the playing field by the referee. Cooper comes and scores. Well, there didn't look to be an awful lot in that, but he'll be very glad to get a free kick there in an eminently scoreable position, and Kerry shoot back into the lead again, 9-8. Morgan. Again, he kicks it badly, gives it straight to Donegal Walsh. Quickly inside to Gainey. Back to Cooper. Nice 1-2. 2 in a row for Cooper. First one to come from open play. And Kerry are in front by 2.
Oh, that's self-inflicted during a big way. 2 poor kickers, 2 untypically poor kickers by Niall Morgan. Both times, the first time a lucky enough free, but that time well exploited by Cooper.
You get the feeling that goalkeepers are being told, look, you know, you realise that Marr and Moran are so good in the middle of the field, and then you get it into your head, perhaps, I'm trying to avoid them by not kicking it straight down high and into the centre, so we're trying to pick out somebody else, and in the end make a hames of it. Here comes Buckley. Kerry meaning business now. James O'Donoghue orchestrating matters around about 40 metres out from the opposing goal. Cooper looking around again. They're taking their time about the build-up to the attack, and then a quick injection of pace before that ball was almost lost. Finally regained here by Paul Murphy. Fitzgerald bounces kindly for Marr. Back in as far as Paul Murphy once again. Beautifully in, lovely ball to Paul Gainey. Gainey, dangerous. Fists it over the bar. Paul Gainey's first scoring contribution since coming on, and they're happy in the stands here because there's now 3 between them. 11-8. Paul Gainey got by 2 defenders. One of them was Colm Kavanagh, and fisted it over the bar. Showed his strength, showed his determination, and great resolution.
Yes, and so elusive that time, the way he just bounced off his defender and put it over the bar. 3 in a row for Kerry.
Huge kick out this time by Morgan. Picked up by Mark Bradley. Bad start by Tyrone. Now they've got to get their wits about them and get going again. Darren Curry. And McCurry's shot has gone over. First of the second half, 3rd in all now, and that's back to a 2-point game. That is exactly the response that Tyrone needed. First time getting up the park, give it to the real danger man, the shooter, McCurry, and a great score.
Yes, and interestingly, Ger, it was a punted ball into space. McCurry running out towards right, had the composure just to slow up for a second. A little dummy, beautiful finish, exquisite kick.
And that kick out by Kerry is also a very poor one from Brendan Keeley, straight to McCrory. Back on to Kieran McCann. McCann here, lost it. Killian Young got it. Pointed the way to Anthony Marr. Back out as far as Stephen O'Brien. A rip-roaring contest here in the first of the live Sunday game All-Ireland semi-finals from Croke Park. Johnny Buckley, 3 points at the beginning of the half. That's beginning of the first half. In as far as Donegal. Walsh gets it a second time. Back to Buckley. Very productive half-forward line for Kerry this afternoon. O'Brien, Buckley and Walsh working their socks off. Here's O'Brien. 3 men in front of him. Turns it back, however, calmly, neatly done, but not completed by Jonathan Lyne. Morgan back out again. Justin McMahon needing a moment. Has Ronan McNamee in support. Peter Hart. Quickly off to McNabb. Both men wearing the wing-back numbers 5 and 7, very, very heavily involved in everything that Tyrone do. And in the end, Anthony Marr deemed to have committed the foul there on McNabb.
Well, I thought, to be honest about it, Ronan McNabb ran out of ideas that time. Owen carried the ball, but Anthony Marr was the one that was penalised for giving away the free.
I guess when you put your hand in over the shoulder like that, referees do tend to blow. And this referee, Maurice Deegan, did. Cathal McCarran slips by the first challenge. Bradley impishly carrying it on. Sean Kavanagh now. Little solo. There's the usual Sean Kavanagh. Then slipping the pass to Bradley. Stopped well by the goalkeeper. Brendan Keeley got down. Used his legs. Prevented an absolutely certain Tyrone goal. And that's another opportunity Tyrone has had here of getting a goal in this All-Ireland semi-final. Good stop.
That's the 3rd opportunity they have had, Ger. Should have been finished that time. Great penetration by Tyrone.
Stephen O'Brien. Well, the tactics are interesting. Both sides funneling back as they have to do so, and the transition is excellent, but the scores have been good. And here's David Moore, and just as I say it, this one goes away to the left-hand side. There's an injured player for Tyrone out of picture. It's Conor Myler.
Yeah, just watch this again, Jared, coming through. Great save, it must be said, by Brendan Keeley, but I felt myself the ball should have been kept on the floor. On a day like that, when it is so wet, if it hits the ground actually first, then it makes it so difficult for the goalkeeper. That's great anticipation, great positioning by Brendan Keeley.
First time I thought it was his leg that saved it. Was his right hand. Great stop by Brendan Keeley. Really good play.
Yeah, wasn't it a lovely attack by Sean Kavanagh? Lovely dummy, great vision, put the attacker in a perfect position.
And we've seen all those videos of recent times of Sean Kavanagh, going towards his left, feigning to go to his left, then getting it on his right boot and putting it over the bar. That time a complete deception, but a lovely little ball, as you say, into Mark Bradley. Here comes the fullback, Ronan McNamee. Aidan McCrory now carrying it on. A couple of players jostling off the ball. The referee allows play to continue. It's McCrory. Crowd got agitated. Conor Myler holds on. Slips back in again, but diving in to try and make sure he got it and get it was Anthony Marr. And Kerry come again, and Stephen O'Brien with Kerry leading 11-9. Early stages of the second half, 10 minutes in. Once more it's Jonathan Lyne. Here's Fionn Fitzgerald, 1 against 3 in there, but the man in the Kerry shirt gets it. James O'Donoghue, last year's Footballer of the Year. Back to O'Brien, having a very productive season after a very poor start to the Munster final last year, to remember. Colm Cooper, big one down into the corner here, and once again it's Paul Gainey. He's going across the line, he's working hard, but he's not able to finish on this occasion. He's had 3 opportunities so far since coming on, and he's made just 1 of them. Quick kick out, because Tyrone have to kick the ball out quickly and retain possession. Peter Hart from Cathal McCarran. Back once again as far as Conor Myler. And what a great engine, young player, one of those great under-21s they had this year. They're all champions in that, of course. Sean Kavanagh beating Peter Crowley to it, and the shot is a raking one, and it's gone to the left. It's gone wide.
Yeah, I thought a lot of the Tyrone followers behind the goals there thought it was going over. Kavanagh taking the ball from a very difficult position, it must be said, a very hard angle.
Boric McNulty is the one who comes on here. And looking for the player who's going off, it's going to be number 12, Conor Myler. So Paulie McNulty comes on. Coming on to play in his 5th ever championship match. A big tall player, McNulty, 6'5" tall. So if he's going to be battling with the big midfielders, he'd be well able to do it.
Exactly, it'll give them that little bit more option in hitting the ball long from kick-out, something they haven't been able to do for quite a while. And 2 of the short ones that they have given to Kerry 2 points that they normally wouldn't get.
Both goalkeepers, it seems to be, are in the horrors at this stage of the idea of kicking the ball long, so they're at all costs trying to retain it. It's a mortal sin to give away possession in this cat and mouse game. Just 2 between them, advantage Kerry, but early stages of the second half. Back to Peter Crowley. Paul Murphy now. Donncha Walsh, great campaigner. Once again Murphy. Donncha Walsh settling his feet, firing it in, having a go and putting it over the bar. His first point in this match. It's a great score. Wonderfully done that time. A player playing in his 7th ever All-Ireland semi-final, and he advances the cause from Kerry's point of view. They're ahead by 3.
Yeah, but the guy I'd like to give credit that time is to the cornerback. I think it was Paul Murphy who came up and did that hard running off the ball in order to make room for Donncha Walsh. He backed himself.
Short kick out again, and again it's fumbled initially, but Justin McMahon ruggedly committed. Got it, but then lost it, and Buckley has it, and it's back into Gainey once again. Well, he's making a difference up there, even if he's not completing all the chances that are coming his way. Colm Cooper we know all about. 34th game in a championship match at Croke Park today for Colm Cooper. Quite a record. David Moran goes around Hart initially, then there's cover. Slipped back in again, then there's a push in the back, and that is a bit silly on the part of Ronan McNabb.
Yeah, that's bad. You know, that's real indiscipline by Ronan McNabb that time. So obvious into the back, and gives him once again an opportunity to Donoghue to put it over the bar. But at the moment, Kerry are starting to pull away a little bit from Tyrone. Most of the game jurors concentrated in the Tyrone half of the field, around the middle of the park in particular. Tyrone are finding it very difficult to transition and get the ball forward.
James O'Donoghue trying to get Kerry's 5th point of the second half. And up with that inside the opening 14 minutes. Brilliantly done once more. All of his scores today have come from frees. Problems now for Mickey Hart and for Gavin Devlin just to contend with. They've got to reassess things. They have plenty of players on the bench who could make a contribution. That's another poor kick out. Straight to Buckley, then Cooper, and then finally James O'Donoghue has snapped at it and put in wide. Should have been over the bar.
Oh, should have been over the bar. Tyrone have got away with that. Morgan has got to stop kicking the ball out short. He's got to start backing his midfielders. Sean Kaplan needs to get out in the middle of the park, and it's your responsibility out there, because the short kickouts are simply not working. And Tyrone or Kerry rather, a little bit more adroit, a little bit more creative, a little bit more direct at the moment, and as a result, getting an advantage.
That time it's touched down by Paulie McNulty. Here comes Tiernan McCann. McCann in full flow. McNulty was up in support of him there, pushing over. Ball ends up going wide. Close run thing there by Tiernan McCann. had an opportunity.
Yeah, and the big man, I think McNulty was in that, using his strength. And unfortunately, Tiernan McCann, from a Tyrone point of view, he did the right thing. Have a snapshot at it, keep it on the ground, and it picks up a speed on the wet. And just went to the wrong side of the post from a Tyrone point of view.
I think if he'd scored that goal there, people would have forgotten the fact that he slipped on a banana skin here 2 weeks ago. It stays at 13 points to 9. Brendan Keeley.
Quite amazing, the kickouts from both goalkeepers today. Maybe it's due to the wet conditions or something, but they have been so badly directed and haven't found their intended targets at all on so many occasions.
It may well be, but I just think they're trying to keep it out of the centre of the park. The real hub of things in the middle, where the 8s and the 9s normally, in the old traditional game, yes, compete for it. Peter Hart comes, and he is dragged down, and the referee is bringing the ball back, having given an advantage. And Tyrone will have it, and it'll be a substitution in a moment. And coming on will be Brian Sheehan. Quickly done. Beautifully inside by McCurry. Might take a return, doesn't come back to him kindly, however. Comes back to Donncha Walsh instead. Out as far as Buckley. Nice return. The hard-working Donncha Walsh gets a heavy shoulder that time. Referee with his arms raised, giving Kerry the advantage. The 5 seconds has now elapsed, and they still have possession. Fionn Fitzgerald. Inside the last 20 minutes of this match now, with advantage Kerry. He made this very good start to the second half and ticked off some very good scores. Anthony Marr was a tough, combative opponent. Jonathan Lyne. Once again, it's held up here by James O'Donoghue. Highly influential. Cooper, 2 points in the game so far. And they work it all the way back to Peter Crowley, and they're just not going to be pushed around, and they're patient and deliberate in their approach. All the way back once again to Paul Murphy. They did this, remember, as well, at times during the All-Ireland final against Donegal last year. They have learned their lesson, as Martin was saying earlier, how to deal with teams such as Donegal and Tyrone. And again, they just play it back. Shane Enright. The Tyrone fans aren't enjoying it very much. Kerry fans are happy enough that their team has possession still, and it's Shane Enright now. Back out once again to Jonathan Lyne. How will it finish up here? Johnny Buckley. They've retained possession for over a minute at this stage, maybe 90 seconds, and they haven't allowed a Tyrone player to get his hands on the ball. Enright once again down into the corner. Donncha Walsh once again makes sure he holds on to it. Beautifully into Gain. He slipped back out here again. Colin Cooper goes down. They get a free kick. That's how it finishes up, and a scoring opportunity.
And again, poor tackle by Justin McMahon, that time maybe down to frustration. And, you know, in this, was it the game between Donegal and Galway earlier this season? It ended up actually with the Donegal team being booed for playing like that. But when Kerry do it, it's something out of the top drawer. And I think that time actually Justin McMahon has been given a black card.
Yeah, Justin McMahon did not like that one little bit. And the referee is now pointing the way to him. Referee has words here with Ronan McNamee. All very unsatisfactory after it had been a game of quite intense football before all of that, and there's a black card now for Ronan McNamee.
Well, my error actually, it was Ronan McNamee that gave away the free that time.
Referee also having words there with Tiernan McCann, and he gets a yellow card for something that was said, I imagine.
Yeah, but as you said earlier, Tyrone have learned, or Kerry rather, have learned so much from the Ulster way. Very often you match fire with fire, you play teams, you copy their style and outdo them at it.
James O'Donoghue taking the resultant free kick and putting it calmly over the bar for his 4th in this match. And we're going to see now a change. Barry Tierney, number 26, has come on. And he comes on for the black card at Ronan McNamee. This is it once again here, and it was indeed Ronan McNamee who swung out the right arm and deliberately took down the incoming Kerry forward, Colin Cooper. And there's Brian Sheehan now, also out there on the park. And Sheehan has replaced David Moran.
Yeah, David Moran's gone off. Again, maybe he hasn't been in the game as much as he normally has this year. Midfielders hasn't been a great area for midfielders today.
Well, they didn't kick the ball down the middle. Simple as that. Right now it's Paulie McNulty on here as far as Peter Hart. They've ground to make up. They're still capable of doing it. And they have a chance here with Colm Kavanagh. And Colm Kavanagh puts it over and gets a white flag. Ultra competitive always, playing his 108th ever match in the County Colours League and Championship, and he's made it a 4-point game.
Yeah, and interesting, he's been playing sweeper most of the game. He's not, you know, he has to start getting forward. They have to start throwing bodies into attack because they're chasing a lead at the moment, the Kerry lead rather at the moment, and they have to adjust and adapt to the circumstances that are in front of them.
Hasn't been a goal in this match so far. But a goal either way right now would be highly significant. Let's see if we get one. Anthony Marr back out as far as Brian Sheehan, and the referee is halting the play here because Colm Kavanagh has had a hit there.
Yes, and the referee is correct to stop that. It was an accidental hit, but Colm Kavanagh took it full in the face that time. Just watch this again coming. He's got in for a breaking ball. That's a very, very hard hit. Absolutely no malintent on the part of the Kerry player whatsoever. Anthony Marr, I think it is. But that's a pretty hard hit.
Yeah, he was absolutely wide open that time, Colm Kavanagh. Typifies the defiant spirit and that never say die attitude in game after game. Colm Kavanagh been around a long time, as I said earlier. Today is 43rd championship game. Point scorer just a moment ago to make it 14-10. And now it's Kerry who have this free kick, and it'll be Brian Sheehan who will take it inside his own 65-metre line.
Yes, and Kerry at the moment you're finding that little bit more menace in attack, that little bit of greater fluency than Tyrone are.
Can Kerry maintain their advantage right to the finish now inside the last 20 minutes of this game? Can Tyrone come back? Sloppy pass. Peter Hart challenged strongly Shane Enright, and they didn't like it one little bit.
No, and rightly so, Gerard. That to me is a clear black card. You know, Shane Enright that time made no attempt whatsoever to play the ball.
Well, once again, the referee, Maurice Deegan, who has already black carded two players, the two number 3s, incidentally. First Mark O'Shea, and then more recently Ronan McNamee, and now it's Shane Enright who has to face the music, and he's got a yellow card. Incidentally, there are two Kerry players, Paul Murphy and Stephen O'Brien. Were they to get black cards today, they might miss an All-Ireland final if Kerry get that far, and that's because they are carrying, in one case, Paul Murphy's 2 black cards into this from league matches earlier on. He got away with a black card there.
He got away there, to be honest about it, Gerard. To me, that was more than the yellow card. That was a sending off offence by either black card or red card.
And he was in trouble last year as well in the All-Ireland semi-final. You may remember in Limerick against Mayo.
I well remember it.
Niall Morgan's going to take this 50 metres out. He might have had the best of days with his own kickouts. Now on how will he do with the free? He's pulled it to the left-hand side. They needed that one. His team looking to try and get a vital edge here now with 12 minutes still to go. Brendan Keely's kicking it out to an unmarked Anthony Marr because Tyrone had retreated. Coming out here is Brian Sheehan, taking it on Jonathan Lyne. And Paul Murphy now just sums up what's available. Chips a dangerous one here. Anthony Marr did really well. Strong, forceful fellow initially, but they've lost it. Matty Donnelly's got it. He's got support players left and right. Here's Paulie McNulty. They need a goal. Tierney, in he goes. Has he got a penalty? I wonder if Tyrone feel they should get one, and they've got it. Barry Tierney taken down. A rapid Tyrone counter-attack. Sloppy play by Kerry in the middle of the park to lose it initially. And that ball then played by McNulty in here as far as Tierney. He went stumbling, fumbling. Now who got him if he did? Well, there was a little tangle in there. Bill Fitzgerald, I think, was one of those involved.
Yeah, no, it's a penalty kick, Jerry. Simple as that.
Peter Hart's going to take it. He scored earlier on a penalty against Meath. He scored a goal from play against Limerick. Tyrone need this. He's got it. They've got it. They're back within a point. Peter Hart's goal coming in the 60th minute from a penalty. His third goal of this year's championship, coolly slotted away. Brendan Keeley well beaten. Kerry 14 points, Tyrone 110. We're in for a grandstand finish. 10 minutes to go.
Textbook penalty on the carpet into the corner. Calmness personified. What of a score for Peter Hart.
Darren O'Sullivan has just come on in place of Stephen O'Brien for Kerry. And that kick out retained by Kerry just about. And then they fall on the ball. The player who got it there was Paul Murphy. He couldn't release it. Held on too long. Free kick for Tyrone. Now who's going to win this All-Ireland semi-final? Who's going to be back here in 4 weeks' time? The first of the semi-finals. The second one, of course, not to be missed next Sunday on the Sunday game. The Dubs here against Mayo. Right now, it's Darren McCurry who's got 3 points already in this game. And has this chance now to level up the contest with lots of time remaining. And a game that can go either way. And that ball has gone the other way, the wrong way of the post, and he's missed it. Still a 1 point game, still Kerry in front.
2 bad misses, one from Morgan, that time from McCurry. Critical misses at this stage of the game. And Kerry are under the cosh at the moment. I noticed Diarmaid Murphy instructing his goalkeeper what to do with his kickouts, because that last kickout invited that spider's web of Tyrone defenders to come in, pressurise the Kerry players, and here comes Aidan O'Mahony.
The recently married Aidan O'Mahony got married 9 days ago to the lovely Denise Healy from Ahado in Killarney, and off comes Peter Crowley. Good luck to Aidan and to Denise in their married life, but right now good luck to them all 30 players down in the park to resolve this one. Who's going to get the first ticket to this year's All-Ireland football final? Tyrone looking strong. Mark Bradley with a point behind their captain Sean Kavanagh. Taking the charge forward, he is shouldered heavily by O'Mahony. His first contribution, Mark Bradley picks it up, and Bradley kicks it. And listen to the roar from the Tyrone fans all around Croke Park. He's got his second. He's tied up the match. It's Kerry 14 points, Tyrone 111, and the teams are level for the 5th time. Some game, some semi-final. People said this was going to be dour and one to forget about. But it has been anything but.
Very much so. We thought it would be blemished by a nexus of fouling, but that time, watch Bradley as he kicks the ball. The fist punches the air. Great score for Tyrone.
Now Kerry, the All-Ireland champions, in a right battle now. Brian Sheehan down here as far as Darren O'Sullivan. Great pacey performer. Anthony Marr, beautifully measured ball into Cooper. And if anybody can rescue Kerry when they need to get a point or two to edge them into a final, it's surely Cooper. Donica Walsh beautifully down to Anthony Marr, steadies himself, kicks it well, and kicks it over the bar. Anthony Marr, the midfielder, has come up to get his first of the day, but crucially, Kerry's 15th, and they are ahead by 1 with about 7 minutes to go. And quick kick out.
And sometimes we just talk of Donegal once being a workhorse, but that time his vision was exemplary.
Kerry come again from that Tyrone kick out, which wasn't all that terribly great. And they've a chance to hold possession here now with Brian Sheehan down towards Darren O'Sullivan. Runs away from him initially. Justin McMahon just there guarding the goal. His brother Joe, a big loss this afternoon. He's among the subs, but Joe's one of the great organisers of that Tyrone defence, and he's missing. Killian Young gives it away. Picking it up, Colin Kavanagh. Kavanagh dragged down. Free kick for Tyrone. 1 behind in the 64th minute. This to be taken there. I noticed there's another player in there for Tyrone. It's Conor Clark, I think, is in there. That's the Conor Clark style there, I noticed a moment ago. It must have slipped on in the last couple of minutes. On here as far as Matty Donnelly. Donnelly trying to get away. Down he goes, looks around, looks for support. The referee says play on. No free, no foul given. That's number 19 there. That is Conor Clark. Here's Tiernan McCann. Beautifully in here as far as Cathal McCarran. McCarran, a most unlikely scorer. If he can make it, but that's high up into the air. The Rangers going to bring the ball back now. An advantage to Tyrone. They'll have a free kick from just outside the Kerry 45-metre line.
Well, we thought like Tyrone coming up here today would have an amalgam of anger and attitude, but by God they have brought skill, inventiveness and spirit to this occasion and contributed to a most enjoyable afternoon's football.
Well, the same God is looking after Kerry, I'm certain, so right now it's anybody's match. Kerry 15, Tyrone 111. This can tie it up, and this is Darren McCurry, who's got 3 points so far. How he's blossomed this year. They need this. It's still in play. McNulty, down he goes and look for another penalty. And this time the referee not buying it, I think. This time the referee has decided it's a free out, and he might speak to McNulty, because he might say you deliberately tried to engineer that, and it's going to be interesting to see what the card is. He was involved in setting up the move for Barry Tierney earlier on that did produce the only penalty of the match so far. For that, for his actions, he gets a yellow card.
I think a correct decision. Again, it's one of those things where you catch your defender, where you catch the defender's arm, try to create the impression that it is the defender that is giving away the free, but that to my mind was a good call by Maurice Deegan.
Ronan O'Neill has just come on, and McNulty is the one who's been taken off. He's missed a couple of chances. Kerry don't want to miss the next one. Killian Young, long ball down in there towards Gainey. Paul Gainey turns, smartly kicks, and he puts it over. Gainey's got a second. Killian Young was doing the work, providing the pass, and the ball down there safely into the hands of the number 19, Paul Gainey, and the Dingle man put it over, and it's Kerry 16, Tyrone 11, and there are 2 between them, and there are 4 minutes to go, and Tyrone are coming again. Matty Donnelly soloing, ahead of him is Ronan McNabb, outside him is a loose player, it's the captain Sean Kavanagh, wriggling this way and that. Look at the number of Kerry bodies back, including among them Johnny Buckley. There too, Paul Murphy, back out of danger, back out as far as John Fitzgerald, taking the return ball there from Paul Murphy. Back down it comes once more to Darren O'Sullivan. Look at the clock, nearly 67 minutes are gone, 3 to go, a little over. Brian Sheehan, back to Buckley, swings it in here as far as Darren O'Sullivan, back to Buckley. Buckley is 40 metres out from the target. Will they get a shot in? They give it to Cooper, trying to take it around Barry Tierney. Once again, Cooper just holding nice and calm. Ice in his veins at this stage, it would appear. He's unmoved, unruffled. James O'Donoghue back to Sheehan. O'Donoghue again here. Donegal Walsh now. Walsh's work rate is immense. Huge one, trying a chance down there to Gainey. Worth a go. Breaks for Cooper. Cooper could finish it here with a point. Oh dear. Absolutely inexplicable, but the referee has blown his whistle, I think, and it's going to be a free in.
It's a 30-metre free, I think. Paul Gainey was pulled as the ball was in flight that time. The little sorcerer got the ball with Cooper. I thought he would have punched it over the bar, but it went wide. But I think the free was called because of a pull on the sub, Paul Gainey.
Well, he was incensed there, Eamon Fitzmaurice. What a great job he has done over recent years. You think about the recent achievements of Fitzmaurice, and you think about the fact that he has harnessed the talent that's available to him, and that is without Kerry teams winning too many minors. The one minor they won last year was the first in 20 years, and not too many under-21s in Munster either, but he has harnessed this group. That was one you've expected from Colm Cooper. Didn't materialise, is down there still receiving attention. So too is Ronan McNabb, incidentally.
Yeah, it's hard to figure out, Ger, what Maurice Deegan gave the free. Was it for the foul or an apparent foul on Gainey, or was it for a late tackle on Colm Cooper? But one way or the other, the only thing that is important from the game's point of view is that it is a free in for Kerry. I
have to say, I thought it was for that last foul there, and the referee is giving a yellow card to Ronan McNabb.
Yeah, so it has to be actually for the late tackle on Cooper.
One way or the other, Martin, it's going to mean that whoever steps up to take this, and if it's Brian Sheehan, for instance, it will make it 17 points to 14. And will that be enough now to see Kerry over the finishing line? It's going to be Paul Gainey who's going to take it. Right-footed kicker then. Didn't start the day on the park, but he's certainly making his mark since coming on. And this one is safely over, and that is a third for Paul Gainey. And now Kerry 17, Tyrone 111. This is that again here. This is that attack, and that's where that challenge came in there very definitely.
No question about it. A late tackle from Ronan McNabb on Cooper, unnecessary in the circumstances because the ball already had gone wide, and just handed a simple free kick to Kerry.
Barry John Keane comes on here in place of number 12, Donegal Walsh. So now a goal is required by Tyrone. Can Mark Bradley set something up for them? Straight away foul there by Darren O'Sullivan. We're in the last minute of the 70, as you can see.
Yes, they have to get the ball forward. Sean Cavanagh's in on the edge of the square. If you were to think about it just over the last few minutes, that ball, that point by Gainey from play was a superb one. The pass I thought was too high from Donncha Walsh, but that there is a very, very hard frontal tackle. Correct call by the ref. Free in.
Goalkeeper has come forward here. The additional time, 2 minutes. We're into 2 now. Well, now what do? You bring a goalkeeper up to put it over the bar. That would put still 2 between them. Is he going to just try and kick it into the square? See what happens. He's going away left. He get absolutely nothing out of it. Oh, that's dreadful.
Wrong call completely. Kind of breakdown in concentration. I thought the on-the-field players, particularly Sean Kavanagh, and again maybe it's unfair singling him out, but they should have demanded that that ball was played short.
Oh, it had to be played into the square. Surely, they were a goal behind. So now it plays into Kerry's hands. A disappointment for Mickey Hart, whose achievements down the years mean that he really should be seen in the same breath as the likes of Mick O'Dwyer and Brian Cody and Heffernan and Boylan and Morgan and all the great names, great managers over the years. But is it to be a disappointing finale here to this year's championship for him? Advantage Kerry, and Kerry have it. And Paul Murphy is flattened. And it's going to be a free, and it uses up some valuable seconds. And Kerry have been in a battle here. No question about that. It will stand to them if they make the final. And they're 1 minute away from that at this stage. This to be taken by Brian Sheehan. Into Darren O'Sullivan. Almost lost it, but recovered his balance, his control, and his focus. Get James O'Donoghue again. Back in here to the man who's come off the bench, Barry John Keane. And he puts it over, and Kerry now are going to make the final. They're happy. They're certain at this stage because Tyrone need 2 scores, and one of those scores has to be a goal. And they have no chance of getting it without possession. And Gainey kicks it forward once again, and Justin McMahon goes back to retrieve. And we're playing the last few seconds. There's a push, there's a free for Tyrone.
Kerry are going to win it all right, sure, but you've got to hand it to Tyrone. They've been absolutely superb in a very, very enjoyable game of football.
Well, they want the ball back quickly. The referee is calling for the ball, I think. What, just a second? Is it over just yet? Not quite. He's telling the players to get up. Last man up was Darren O'Sullivan. And Tyrone are given this a chance to mount one last attack, perhaps, with Tiernan McCann. Behind by 18 points to 111. Peter Hart going down, surrounded by Kerry players, giving Tyrone a touch of their own medicine by group defending, and it's all over! Very, very good match. Victory for Kerry. They see off the Tyrone challenge, and they set up another chance for themselves to retain the Sam Maguire Cup. Eamon Fitzmaurice and the Kingdom will be back here in 4 weeks' time, seeking to hold onto their crown, while it's the end of the road for Tyrone for this season. A year which has seen them overcome league relegation defeat in the first round of the championship in Ulster and get within touching distance of the final itself. But it's all today about Kerry. They have justified favouritism just about, and they will now play in the county's 11th All-Ireland final since the turn of the century. Aidan O'Mahony's had quite a 10-day period, marriage and also a place with his team in the final. Quite a game. Yeah, the relentlessness in the second half really saw them through. Some great scores. I thought Gainey coming in made a huge difference. The response from Tyrone in particular at the time when Peter Hart got the goal, you know, made it a wonderful last 20 minutes. With that little bit extra experience that Kerry had, the cuteness coming off the bench, certainly at the end of the day when you think Barry John Keane, Paul Gainey, the contribution they made, and Johnny Buckley throughout, very, very impressive.